Oh, by the way, I realized that Ryan said something that caused me to drop the F word on camera, so I had to bleep that out. I tried to bleep all the F words out, but anyway, that made me laugh. I was like, oh, geez.
Hey.
What'd I say?
It was something while I was drinking. I forget what you said, but I was in mid-drink and you said what you said, and I just...
All I know is from watching
It's
other
still in the
YouTube
video.
channels and stuff like that, as long as we don't cuss within the first minute of the video, we're good. Because that's what the algorithm looks for.
Well,
it looks for cussing in the first minute. And after that,
I personally just want to keep it. I mean, I'm not
After
above.
that,
I'm not
fucking
above.
A.
I'm not above saying like the language, but I try to. I'd like to kind of keep it somewhat clean, you know.
This coming from a guy with that imprint on the wall with a box of Kleenex.
shut your face.
Okay, let's do this. I want to hear this first listen.
You.
First listen. All right. Y'all are good now?
Man,
Just
yeah.
don't bring up beer or Ryan's mom or anything. We're good.
Freaking dishes. Suck it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the UNT3. I'm your host, Ryan Gerfers, followed with co-host Joel, our hero, Mr. Gonna Play with no shirt on, Pasties Cox. And then we've got Mr. Doing It in One Take, Christian Fisher over here. We're three best friends that anytime we get together, we talk about music, and that's what we want to bring you into today. We want to bring you into this conversation. We're going to bring you all music all the time on this podcast. We can cover anything from making supergroups, covering albums. We do first listens. And so really the sky is the limit when it comes to music here. We've got a great episode for you today. But before we dive into that, we just want to take this a moment for everybody that is subscribed to us on YouTube, followed us on Facebook, listening to us on Spotify, whatever platform we are on and you are following. We want to give a huge thank you to all of you, because without you, we don't have a show. And so thank you very much for subscribing. Tell two people when you see this to subscribe. Check us out. The more the merrier in this conversation. But what we're going to do this week, I'm going to throw a curveball at these guys. Typically, we have our show kind of lined out before we record. I told them, hey, I'm going to just throw a curveball at you. They have no idea what I'm about to say or what I'm about to do. When we get together and we're just talking, whether we're at my house, we're at a restaurant, we're at a movie theater, I will just randomly ask a music question. And then these two guys will like...
Why are you laughing?
Because that's not a lie.
And the thing is like, we might be talking about the Super Bowl, or we might be talking about what we had, for dinner. And then I will just randomly just blurt out a music question. Like, what do y'all think of this?
It's not going to be any of that bull crap like the few episodes ago where we had to guess stupid stage names, is it?
No.
Best episodes.
So this is going to be one of my typical questions. So typically I will throw y'all a bone, this or this. And this isn't really a super fight because y'all haven't been able to do the research to bring into this question, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Today I was listening to Pandora in my classroom. This artist came on and I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask them this question tonight.
Oh.
So here's the question, and don't read too much into it, but the question is Michael McDonald or Christopher Cross?
Oh.
Whose corner are you getting in?
Oh my gosh. Michael McDonald or Christopher Cross? Well, get your AARP cards out, friends, because we got a great banging episode today.
I knew y'all would like this one. I was like, you know what? This one's going to be fun to listen to these two guys talk about.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I'll let you go first, Christian.
No. You get to go first on this one, old man.
Okay.
And it's not a who's better or
because I think I know who he's gonna pick.
It's literally like there's really no qualifier on it. But I mean, I guess if you want to take it from the angle of who you like better or who you think is more influential, whatever you want to do. The question is whose corner are you in? Michael McDonald, Christopher Cross.
Well, okay, so this really is an interesting question because you have Michael McDonald, who not only is a solo artist, he is a brilliant singer. He's been on Steely Dan albums. If you've never heard any of the stuff he's done with Steely Dan, there's a great documentary where they actually break down his vocals, and he is such an amazing vocalist. But he's been with Steely Dan. He's played with the Doobie Brothers, and of course other artists. But he's also a great solo artist as well. And then you have Christopher Cross, and Christopher Cross has the great distinction of being, I believe, the only artist, at least at one time, he was the only artist to win all 4 major awards at the Grammys. I think Nora Jones may have done it.
He won Record of the Year, Album of the Year, Song of the Year,
Yeah.
Best New Artist.
Now, has anyone else done it since? Because as far as I understand, he was the only one to do it.
Billie Eilish did it this last year.
Okay. So someone else, I thought maybe Nora Jones had, but okay, so Billie Eilish has done it too. So, which, I mean, that just tells you.
Thank you, Google.
Oh, well, and I didn't Google that, and I've known that he had this record. So, what killed Christopher Cross, for those people who don't know, is this little entity known as MTV. Because Christopher Cross was a very beautiful singer. He was I'm sorry?
Not a beautiful man.
He is not a beautiful man. Great singer, great songwriter. And his album, after it was released, is when MTV really kind of came into prominence. And it killed his career. So that being long-winded to say, if I had to choose between somebody to listen to, Christopher Cross's album is beautiful. Sailing, I mean, it was covered by NSYNC years later, but that album is just a beautifully, it's a snapshot of what you could do in the studio in the 80s. It is a very dated album, but it's beautifully written. It's beautifully performed. There's no auto-tune. There's no autocorrect. It's just a bunch of studio musicians recording beautiful songs. So, if I'm, that's a really hard one, but I would say I'm ticking a little towards Christopher Cross. And I feel bad for the guy because he has all this acclaim, and then MTV, and he releases one video and it just tanked his career because he just, like Fisher said, he wasn't an attractive guy. He wasn't David Bowie. He wasn't some of the other bands, George Michael, Billy Idol, like all of these.
Right.
He was your everyday regular musician. There's a lot of people from the 70s that probably wouldn't have done well had they done what Christopher Cross did as far as just being natural. But I would say, me personally, I love that combo. But for me, Christopher Cross would be the guy for sure. So, what about you, Fisher? I'm kind of curious to hear what your thoughts are on this.
Well, any man who has the other as a backing vocalist for him is the person I'm going to go for. And on the song Ride Like the Wind, he being Christopher Cross, he had Michael McDonald on backing vocals. Yeah. Okay. So plus he's a San Antonio boy. He's from Texas. Got to go with the Texas boy. But I prefer Christopher Cross's vocals and just his style of music over Michael McDonald. I've never really been a big Michael McDonald fan. I've never really, pardon me, I've never really cared for much of his original stuff. What he's really known for are all the covers that he's done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, at least that's how I best know Michael McDonald, is all the Motown stuff that he's done.
Yeah.
And so I prefer someone who does their own stuff, writes their own stuff. So I'm going to go Christopher Cross. Yeah. And didn't he sing the title, or not the title track? I don't know. He sang the theme to the movie Arthur.
Yeah, it was the title. Yeah, it was the theme song.
Love that song. Love that song.
Yeah. But you're 100% right. I thinking about it that way, I think is a real good way to look at it. Michael McDonald is thinking about, he wrote his songs, he sang his songs, he played on his songs. Michael McDonald really is more known for, in my opinion, his covers or taking it to the streets with the Doobie Brothers. Mm-hmm. His background or studio work. I mean, he is a great vocalist. If we were talking about a technical great vocalist, I would have to say that he wins over Christopher Cross. But if we're talking purely on who would you listen to, I know more Christopher Cross songs. And that album that he put out that won all those awards that year, the Christopher Cross album is just, I mean, it is, like I said, it's dated, but it's hard not to sing along to those songs, even to the theme song.
Well, and anything that came out in that time period, it's hard to not be dated. Yeah. Like, it's, at least to my ear, it's really easy to point out, ooh, that's 80s, right?
Yeah.
Especially early to mid 80s music, it's really easy to point that out. Just like to my ear, maybe just because I've listened to so much of it, that's a 70s song. That's a song from the 60s, right? Mm-hmm. There are certain sounds that you can tell when that song was produced.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So
what about you, Gurfers?
Yeah, I was about to ask, what are your thoughts on this, since you were
you posed the question.
I have to say, Pandora, really? Like, are we stuck like 5 years ago? Seriously?
It's just easy to have in my classroom, and it is what it is, I mean,
AARP.
RP, yeah.
And so it's fun because it's easy. If my students want to, listen to a certain genre of music or whatever, it's just easy for me to pull it up real quick and just play it. So
Spotify
next to his
is not
8-track.
Easy?
Say that again, Joel.
It's next to his 8-track, his Pandora player.
Yeah. But
all right, so
I mean, I really, for me, I don't know them as well as y'all do. And so, I mean, I like, if a Michael McDonald song comes on, I like the groove of it. I like the little jam of it, right? I think that's cool. But being a vocal guy and liking vocals, Christopher Cross, just listening to the smoothness of his voice and how he can carry the melodies of the song and just how naturally talented he is vocally. I mean, it's hard for me. I mean, this really isn't a cop-out answer, but I mean, it's almost kind of like, what mood am I in? I could go either way. But today, if I had to pick today, I would probably go with you guys. I'd go Christopher Cross. Mm-hmm. Now, tomorrow, I might say Michael McDonald. But, like the Sailing.
Oh, you are the vocalist of the group. So.
I mean, Sailing for me, it's just so good.
Yeah.
It's a really good song.
And whenever it comes on and I sing along with it, like Anna and Isabella and Chase hate it because it's a slow jam. They don't like slow jams. And I'm like, well, I don't really care what y'all like because it's a good song, and so is what it is. So yeah, Christopher
Sometimes
Cross.
I question your wife's musical taste.
I do too. It is what it is. She's
Anna is full of 100% energy. She's like a
she's the Energizer Bunny.
She's
an Energizer Bunny is what she is.
She's the bunny. And so to listen to slow jams, unless it's heavy and distorted, she's just not. And I mean, you got to applaud her for that. I mean, she's the one that you're gonna have to keep out of the pit when we go to the show. So
yeah, pretty much. Yes.
4'11" frame. It's like, no, you're not getting in there. Sorry.
That's 4'11" wearing platforms. No, I'm joking. I didn't really mean that. I'm sorry.
That's a great topic.
Please don't kick me to the couch. Please don't
I
kick
didn't
me to
mean
the
that.
couch.
I'm sorry. You're a really, really good cook. So
wow. You cook and clean really well.
I didn't say clean. You said that, okay? I didn't say clean.
Don't put words in my mouth.
We're 50-50 cleaning in this house, okay? I clean everything really high that she can't see, and she cleans everything else. And that's typically, I get about 60% of it because that's how short she is.
Oh my gosh. Well,
it is what it is. But Christopher Cross.
That's a great topic.
So what you need to do for everybody that's out there who doesn't know who Christopher Cross is,
or Michael McDonald.
Well, I'm saying Christopher Cross just because we talked about, or y'all talked about how he's not very attractive. Put a picture of him up and just be like, this is why his career got effed, is because of this face right here.
Next to the Bernie Sanders glove meme.
Oh, that's a whole nother show. That glove meme. Yes. But man, so what we'll do really, I mean, Christopher Cross, all three of us. I like it.
That's a rarity.
So, I mean, I know you said you were listening to it at work on Pandora, but what made you settle on those two guys?
Well, it was a Michael McDonald song that was on. I can't remember which Michael McDonald song it was. But I don't know. It's just like when I was like, I want to mention Michael McDonald and ask them about him tonight. Who can I put against him in which one would you pick? And Christopher Cross is just the first name that came to mind. It's like, I don't know why Christopher Cross came to mind. I was like, okay.
It's a great comparison because they're around the same genre. They have about the same, I'd say the same amount of hits. I think it's a great.
I mean, I guess I could have, if I would have because I really didn't put a whole lot of thought into it. I think had I put more thought into it, I might have been like a Michael McDonald or like a Billy Joel or a Michael McDonald and an Elton John or something like that, which I don't think would have gone together as well as this did.
No, I think you picked a good John. I think the two that you picked, I think were great. And hopefully
our little Padawan is growing up. 10 years ago, I don't think he would have put this comparison together.
Yeah. No, I agree. But I applaud you. I think that is out of left field, and those are great. Those are great picks.
So stay tuned for future episodes because what I'm going to do, I'm not going to let them know. I may just work into a show every now and then. Literally like slamming the brakes, the car skidding sideways, and we're like, hey, guess what?
There are no rules.
There's no rules. Question. We're coming out of left field. Screw the outline of the show, and so we'll see how it goes, but that's really kind of what we do. What we just did, that's literally what we do when we get around each other is we'll have a conversation going and I'll be like, Michael McDonald or Christopher Cross, go. Yeah. And that's what just happened. So you kind of got to see us in our element.
Yeah.
Authentic. No rules.
No rules. With your minutes of preparation.
Right?
Per the previous episode, we have minutes of preparation.
Look, I don't think y'all understand the amount of painstaking minutes we put into pre-production. Like, we're going through like 2 mugs of coffee. Or Joel might be going through half of a tumbler of whatever the hell he has in there. Zima, maybe. I don't know. And then Christian's Florida Georgia line tea that he's got in his cup. I don't know.
Bullshit.
Well, what is it that I keep seeing in your camera that's like smoking? Do you have like Christian's? Like
no, it's a reflection of his shirt. It smoked last time, but it's not smoking this time.
Because like earlier, it looked like you had like steam or something coming out. So I don't know. Hey, no, I would absolutely believe that.
No,
in a heartbeat.
I do that after the show, not before.
After dealing with us for an hour, he's like, gotta light up, guys.
I just eat mine now.
What we'll do? Well, wow. Okay. Eating them. I hear that like is a
Edibles
little bit more potent. Isn't
more
it?
potent, and it's
anyway.
Definitely not kid friendly.
Again,
it's just better. It's a better experience.
I hear it. I haven't experienced it. Is what it is.
One
Joel will experience it before I do.
One day.
That's probably the only way he's going to take his shirt off in pasties.
One day.
Speaking of, if you don't mind me interrupting for a second, but I was editing the video and where you're talking about the pasties, and Ireland's sitting next to me. She goes, "Dad, can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yeah, what?" She goes, "What are pasties?"
Yes, I was going to say she went, "What are pasties?"
So thank you. And
they're stickers that go over your nipples.
That's what I said.
Life lesson.
And
right
they can have tassels on them. They can have like, man, has anybody ever made like a freaking bubble wrap pasty where you walk up and you like pop the bubble wrap pasty? Dude, I'm just thinking off the fly here. You know what I'm saying? A scratch and sniff.
Oh
hey,
my gosh. Please.
We've gone off the rails. Yeah.
Okay. Let's loop it back in.
So we're going to bring it. Speaking of pasties, we're going to be going into our next little what am I looking for here? Segment. That's the word I'm looking for. We're so off the rails. I don't know what we're doing. Next segment. Speaking of pasties, we're going into our favorite female artists. Pasties, female artists. Get the connection.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Got the connection.
That's right.
You just me too'd us.
It's okay. You know, everybody like Joel with A cups knows what pasties are. And so,
man.
It's all that
people
working
really
out I do.
People are either really going to love this episode or really hate it.
No, they're going to love it.
That's what I love about it.
They are going to love it.
Bring on the haters.
Hey, favorite female artists. No genre
specific
confinements here, right? So there are no rules here. This is any decade, any genre, any female artist. Joel, go with your list.
Oh, great. Awesome. I get 2 first on this episode. I love it. So my requirement is I pick people that I like to listen to. So this may not be the most talented. So. Well, the thing is if we were talking vocalist, Mariah Carey,
that's why we said favorite.
That's why we said your favorite.
Yeah, I'm thinking Bobby Brown's wife that I'm totally blanking out on right now.
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston. But there's a couple people that are just, Beyonce. There's a couple of singers that are just lights out singers. But my list is people that I listen to. So my genres are all over the map. And I probably could have listed, if I included heavy music, I could have included some women there too. But so my first one is a no-namer that, well, I won't say we know who she is because she's a Dallas native. I have had the privilege of seeing her live several times in small clubs and large venues, and that's Sarah Jaffe out of Dallas.
Yeah.
I love the fact that she has started off as an acoustic artist and she's worked her way through electronic music, and now she's kind of doing. She's done some backing tracks for some rap group, and then she's also featured on a song that was done for Pixar. So her vocals are just great, and I just absolutely love her. She's a great person. So Sarah Jaffe is the first person on my list. I'm going to list some people that people don't know, which is normal for me. One of the people that I absolutely love is a woman named Rosie Thomas. She was part of the Sub Pop label out of Seattle. Very smooth vocals, great singer, great songwriter. She's also worked with Sufjan Stevens and some other artists that are in that same genre.
Is she a solo artist or is she?
She is a solo artist. Yeah, okay. She's a solo artist. But I absolutely love her. Just great vocals, very pure vocals. I think Ryan would like her if he listened to her, but real chill. I mean, talk about slow music. There's not a lot of upbeat songs. It's real chill. My next artist that's on my list is Tori Amos. Absolutely love Tori Amos. Her first 3 albums are just, I remember being in college. Her music is challenging, but she's just, Her music is great. Her vocals are great. She's an amazing performer. But Tori Amos is one.
Yeah, she came really close to making my list.
Yeah, so she's just a beautiful artist. And again, these are people that I listen to. And another artist that I absolutely love is Billie Holiday. Sarah Vaughan, Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
It is hard to beat those three. But for me, the mood that I was thinking right now, Sarah Vaughan was just, that's the one that I picked. On a different day, if I'm depressed, Billie Holiday, her vocals are crazy.
I love Billie.
Yeah, Billie, I mean, she's just painful. I love listening to her early work and then listen to her covers when she's older, but just hearing that weathered vocals. But anyway, I chose Billie Holiday for this one. I got two more. Nora Jones. I did a first listen of hers, the Little Willies, a couple weeks back. Every album.
Ryan, that was the country song that wasn't country.
Yeah, that's the country song you said wasn't country. But Nora Jones to me is just phenomenal, beautiful, amazing vocals. She's progressed over time.
And she's an alum.
She's an alum. She's a North Texas alum. But just an amazing songwriter, beautiful person, just great vocalist, pure tones.
What's her dad's name again?
Ravi Shankar.
The guy that worked with the Beatles. And
yeah. So Ravi Shankar is her dad. And then the last one, and if we're talking female vocals, she will always be on any list. I love every album she's put out. She's only put out 3 albums. She has a Christmas special that she put out last year. She's an amazing artist. She is country. She is pop. She is everything. And that is Miss Casey Musgraves. Actually, Mrs. Casey Musgraves, because she's married now. But for me, I went through a period of time where I probably listened to her album for 3 or 4 months straight. Just beautiful singer. She's a phenomenal performer. She's funny. She's tongue-in-cheek. She can be super serious and super deep. So those are my 6 that I chose for top female vocalist that I listen to.
Wow, right on.
So, Fisher, what is your list? And did we cross over any?
We did not cross over any, which I'm really, really surprised, especially, pardon me, at least 2 of them I thought we would have crossed over.
Okay.
When this topic sparked in my brain, like, oh, we should do that topic, I was actually watching this person. She's leading off my list. I was watching her on YouTube, and like, I haven't listened to her since I was in high school. And that was Sarah McLachlan.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember sitting there yesterday going, I forgot how much I really love her stuff.
Yeah.
And I must have gone down the Sarah McLachlan rabbit hole for an hour or 2 last night. It was pretty cool. So she's my first one.
Great pick.
Her album Fumbling Towards
Ecstasy
is that's a very 90s album.
Yeah.
Right?
Surfacing for me is really
that's a really good one too,
because Fumbling Towards Ecstasy, she was still a lot more electronic bass, electronic drums, and this and that, whereas Surfacing she got with her husband, who was a drummer. I don't know if they're still married, but the band and the songs were perfect and her vocals fit everything perfect. So for me, that's the album that gets me every time.
Her vocals, period, just get me. Like, she does a duet with Bare Naked Ladies for a Christmas song, and I can't think of the name of the 2 songs that they do, but her vocals alone are any album. Just listen to her sing, and I get goosebumps. So my second one, and I figured she would have made your list. I love her album Exile to Guyville.
Oh, Liz Phair.
Liz Phair. Yeah. I figured Liz Phair would be on your list, but she was she was a big crush of mine in the 90s. And she is, to me, she is the very definition of an indie artist. You listen to her records, the production level, just it's very bare bones, with the exception of her later stuff as she got older. But her first 2 or 3 albums, like, it was like she recorded it in her basement with her 2 buddies, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, check out the album Exile to Guyville.
Mm-hmm.
Liz Phair, she's not for the faint of heart. Like, if you get offended by explicit lyrics, don't listen to her.
Yeah.
Especially her early stuff. But
yeah,
I love her. I can't say enough good things about her.
I agree with that one. That's a good one.
My next one, I figured would have been on your list too, Joel. And we've talked about her, at least you and I have, Joel. We've talked about her on several of our past episodes. And that's Fiona Apple.
Yeah. So great. We actually talked about her on the last episode we recorded. Yeah.
Yeah. So my next one, we've talked about this artist too, or at least I did on our country episode. And that's the one and only Mrs. Patsy Cline.
Mm-hmm.
I love Patsy. So did my grandfather, my granddaddy. I think that's where I get it. But I could listen to her sing the phone book, right? Mm-hmm. She's just, like I said, Walking After Midnight, Crazy. She's just, what can you say about the queen of country music?
Yeah, that's good.
A couple more. When you brought up Tori Amos, I debated between her and this other person, and I decided to go with the one and only Bjork.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I adore Bjork. I love the fact that you can have a nice classic, like, jazz tune, right? She sings a jazz tune, and then the next thing it's a synth pop, right? She just goes all over the place. I love that she doesn't define herself by one specific genre. She just does what she wants. I really like that.
Yeah.
Plus her vocals are amazing.
Yeah, very experimental artist. But like, if you listen to her earlier stuff, when I forget the name of her first band, but was it Babes in Toyland was the name of her first band?
Her first band?
Yeah, the band that she was in before she went solo.
I don't know.
That was more of a pop, like straight ahead pop band, and she fits so well. And then she goes and does her debut album, and like, it's so great just to watch it. Like we talked about in previous episodes, like Fiona Apple and Tori Amos, watching these artists evolve. She's definitely one of those. She gets a lot of flack because of the swan dress, but she was so much more than that. So if you haven't checked her out, that album debut is just, it's a great album.
Well, and then the next one, Post, that's the one that has It's Oh So Quiet on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So my final person, and I really struggled between her and a couple of other people, but I decided, it's really not a Fisher list unless there's somebody from metal on it. And the person I picked was Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm.
Oh, okay.
That girl has pipes. Yeah. That girl can get it. And I mean, from song one in a live show, because a lot of the stuff that I've watched on YouTube of her is live. From the first song to the very last song, she is just balls to the wall. I'm going to belt it out as loud and as hard as I can and come along for the ride. And I hardly ever hear her hit a bad note.
Yeah.
So those are my favorite female artists.
Yeah,
that's great. And she can play guitar, man.
Yeah, she's a really good guitar player. All right, Gurfers.
So I don't have a list written. I'm doing just off the cuff.
Ooh.
Right?
Okay, you do it.
Commando.
So really, yes.
No parachute.
No
the
parachute.
only one that I'm thinking of that I think I heard either of y'all talk about that I would
No
put on
net.
my. The only one that I've heard either one of y'all say that I would have on my list would be I'll start off with is Nora Jones.
Yeah.
I didn't know who Nora Jones was until Joel, you played that CD for me, and then when I would work nap rooms for the Children's Courtyard, that was the nap room CD for like 2 years.
Come Away With Me.
Yes,
that first album.
That entire album, like that is, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a track on that album that I would skip.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to every single one of them.
You can't go wrong with Nora Jones.
Yeah, those first two albums are hard to beat. Feels Like Home and Come Away With Me. So yeah,
Nora Jones. This next one I pick just because it's I was listening to when Anna and I first started dating and met, and that's Avril Lavigne.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoy Avril Lavigne. I do.
Yeah.
Kind of that edgy little alternative, style there. So
a lot of good memories from the Courtyard when I hear Avril Lavigne.
Yeah, and a lot of these picks.
Sarah Irving, Rachel Gressett, looking at you.
That's right. I mean, and that's what a lot of my picks are. A lot of my picks are like, it's because these are the female artists that were prominent that bring back fond memories. And so another one for me is Christina Aguilera.
Oh yeah.
And what I like about Christina Aguilera is vocally she can wail, but she's very, very versatile in what she can do vocally.
She's a powerhouse, man.
She can throw it down, but then if you listen to her song Beautiful, the harmonies that she does over the top of the melody in there is just insane. Like she's so powerful, but the control she has over the power is crazy. So Christina for me is like up there.
Yeah. She easily could be on the list for best vocalist. She can compete with any of the
probably more of the ones that I'm about to name that are heavy hitter vocalists. Another one that I like that I saw in concert. I think Anna won tickets to this concert, and I'll never forget. I wore a Guns N' Roses T-shirt to this concert, and that's Alicia Keys.
Yeah.
I wore a Guns N' Roses T-shirt to an Alicia Keys show, and she puts on a great performance.
Another powerhouse, by the way.
She can, I mean, and what was great about her show live is she sounds exactly the way she does on the album live. Like there's some of those artists, when you go to a live show, they sound nothing like the CD. They're off tune. It's terrible. And you're like, what are we doing? She's not one of those.
That's good to hear.
Where she lost me at her show.
Oh no.
Is when she started really, like, she did an entire, like, almost 6 songs in a row that were just cover tunes. And I'm like, no, play your original stuff. I don't want to hear cover songs. And so that's kind of where she lost me. And then she would get up and almost try to be Christina or Britney-esque or Beyonce-esque with like some of her dancing and all that. I'm like, that's not the Alicia Keys I like. I like the Alicia Keys that's sitting behind the piano and just letting it all hang out.
Yeah.
And so when she got up and started doing her whole like Destiny's Child type thing, I was like, nah. But as long as she's behind the piano and she's singing, I'm there.
Yeah.
Another one for me, back in the 90s is, and I don't think I heard either one of you say her, is Alanis Morissette.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, she's great.
So,
I toyed with the idea of putting her on my list.
Yeah,
she's just one of those, like, I like her personality because she's kind of one of those female artists that she doesn't give a really shit. Like, she didn't give a shit what you think. She's just gonna go do her. Mm-hmm. And she's one of those, you either like my stuff or you don't, and keep scrolling if you have to.
Taylor Hawkins used to be in her band.
Yeah, so did and Flea filled in on some of the tracks, and I always think it's funny that all those songs off that album were co-written by the lead singer for the Hooters. You remember that band from the 80s? The
No.
Hooters?
No, I think you're
They
making
had
that up.
their big hit was called We Dance. He played the Mellotron thingy, and that's why it's featured all over that. I don't know what that's not a Mellotron, but whatever the thing is where you blow in, it has the keys. But anyway.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, thanks.
And then I'll throw one more out there. But for me, when this artist, when she comes on, it's just, you can't change it. You have to listen, because for me, she's the greatest female vocalist ever because of how powerful she is.
Ooh.
And that's Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
She's on my honorable mentions. I almost put her on my list.
She's one of those artists vocally who is so good. It's effortless at what she does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she just goes out there, and for people like you and I who we could try our hardest and not even like be able to do a fraction of what she could do, and she just goes out there and does it effortlessly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like
no training.
It's just kind of like, okay, here it is, boom.
Other than singing in the choir when she was young.
Yeah, I mean, there was not a coach. She went in there and she just nailed it.
I mean, the song coming to mind right off the bat, where she just goes out there and just lets it all hang out there, is the
I Want to Dance with Somebody.
Well, there's that, but it's the hit off the Bodyguard soundtrack. Yeah. I Will Always Love You.
Yeah,
like she just goes out there. I mean, no, but if you break it down vocally, she goes out there and just lets it all hang out with how long she's holding notes in her upper register, like just not in her falsetto, but she's literally just powering these notes out in the length she's holding it. And she's really not even breaking a sweat. It's like, okay.
You know, one of the things that I really appreciated about Whitney Houston was, you know, in her younger years, like when she first started out up to The Bodyguard and all that. I didn't really listen to her stuff later, but she was very controlled. She never really, like, maybe I'm wrong, what I'm recalling, she never really did like all of those vocal runs and things like that to kind of show off and like, look at me, I can do all this tricky stuff with my voice. No, she just went out, she sang the song, and her rendition of the national anthem from the Super Bowl at the Rose Bowl, man, bring down the house.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She came from that era of singers. They just went out and they just, here you go. Bam.
Yeah,
no pitch correction, no auto tune, just
she didn't need it.
She was literally always in the pocket. And it's crazy.
I think she was more of a powerhouse than Aretha.
Ooh,
I can see where you're coming from on that.
Well, and the thing with Aretha, though, is Aretha came from a completely different background and era. You have to remember when, I don't know, man, Aretha is just...
Aretha didn't make any of our lists. So.
Well,
yeah,
she was actually like, I was thinking of her, but I was like, you know, I won't mention her. But since you brought her up, she does a version of a song that Luciano Pavarotti made famous. It's his song Nessun Dorma. Aretha Franklin does a version of Nessun Dorma, which go listen to it.
And isn't that
ridiculous?
Don't they have a recording of it where she stepped in for someone else to sing on some award show?
Yes, that's the one that I'm talking about.
It wasn't even in the right key and all this other stuff, but they were like, "Will you please do this?" And she got in there, and not only did she do it, but she like for me, Aretha Franklin is just, she wrote her songs. She like changed music.
She's the queen of soul. I will give you. She's the queen of R&B.
But I'll tell you this: like if you put, and I'm not saying anything, Whitney Houston is there, but I think if you had to say which one was better for me as a pure
Whitney
belter,
Houston all day long.
No, it's Aretha Franklin, because Aretha can go smooth and subtle, and she can go gritty and dirty. That's the one thing Whitney Houston is power, solid power. She never gets gritty. She never gets dirty. Even when she's singing, a pop song or a rock song, like even her rock stuff is still kind of shiny. Aretha Franklin is the one that when she got dirty, you really felt like you needed a shower afterwards. That's how dirty her vocals could get, how gritty and stuff. And that's why I think that Aretha Franklin kind of edges her out a little bit.
Wrong.
Well, comment below, everybody. Let us know what you think on this debate. I would love to hear your thoughts.
I can see where you both are coming from on that. I mean, I will say this. I don't know that there's a Whitney without Aretha.
That's a fair
assessment.
But
if you don't mind me commenting, and I was going to hold my tongue on this, but since no rules, I'm not a big fan of Alicia Keys. I love her music, and I love her piano playing and her arrangements, and her songs are okay. But I've never been a fan of her vocals. It's like there's two artists that I know they're great singers, but I'm just not a big fan, and that's Alicia Keys and John Legend. I don't know why. I like their songs are good and stuff, but I've heard other people cover their songs, and I prefer their covers over. And I've seen her perform, and she's an amazing performer. Then she starts singing, and I'm just like, it just sounds flat. It just sounds kind of to me, I don't know why.
I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of anybody, male or female, when they start doing vocal runs and things of that nature and look what I can do. Like, cut out all that bullshit and just sing.
Number 2.
Right? Just sing.
Yeah.
That's why Mariah Carey is not on my list.
Yeah. Great vocalist, though.
Joel's favorite Christmas song.
I'm not a big fan of the whole whistle singing that she does and those way insane upper falsetto things that she does. The whole whistle singing thing.
The whistle while you work. Yeah.
Not a fan.
Well, that's a good list,
Again,
Ryan.
Joel's favorite Christmas.
I hate that song. I hated it from the moment it came out. I hated it when it was originally first, brand new. Mariah Carey.
Okay.
Nope.
Impromptu out of left field. Which one do you hate more? Mariah Carey Christmas song or Hero?
Mariah Carey. That's how bad I hate that song.
Oh, it's gonna happen, folks.
Wow.
Journalist with pasties because he likes the song.
I don't like the song, but if I had to hate one more than the other, All I Want for Christmas is You. You'll never. Actually, I'm sorry, I can't say it. You heard me sing it on a previous episode, but you'll never hear me sing like that song. Really, at least with Hero.
What y'all don't know is when he decorates his Christmas tree, it's on a loop, and he's dancing in his Christmas undies as he does it.
That's right.
I don't wear undies, but thank you.
And he has the Santa Claus bra on with it. He's covered those A cups.
Are you guys videoing me or something? Is there something I need to know? Is there a secret camera here?
Uh-huh.
Anyway,
don't get us started on the imprint.
We're just giving you a hard time.
But hey, seriously, Ryan, on another note, getting us back on track. That was a really great list, man. You had some really great people on there. So
and that's off the cuff. That's was
off the
no
cuff.
Research.
Yeah, that was great.
Right. All right. So we got a first listen coming tonight that we were told by Fisher, doing it in one take. We're going to do this first listen in one take. It's only going to take one time. That it was going to fit in perfectly with the female genre that we covered. So what do you got for us, Fisher?
All right. So our first listen tonight is coming to us from an artist whose channel I have shouted out before in the past. And the artist's name is Alexa Mello. If you go to her YouTube channel, she does a lot of cover songs. And this one, we've actually talked about this song, a cover of this song. And it was revealed to us from Ryan that his wife does not like the cover version of this song. She, I think, hates it. Am I right?
Is it the
Ryan?
Johnny Cash version of Hurt? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, she doesn't like that version, right?
She actually thinks that Johnny Cash, and I'm paraphrasing, Johnny Cash ruined the song with his version.
Okay, so play her this version. I think she'll like it better, but this is Alexa Mello's cover version of Hurt. Can y'all hear it?
I heard the slap.
Do I need to turn it up?
No.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole, that old familiar sting. Try to kill it all away, but I remember everything. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. You could have it all, my empire of dirt. I will let you down. I will make you hurt. I wear this crown of shit
Ooh.
upon my liar's chair,
It's the
Sorry.
lyrics.
Sorry.
full of broken thoughts I cannot repair. Between the stains of time, the feelings disappear. You are someone else, and I'm still right here. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. And you could have it all, my empire of dirt. I will let you down.
Does she play an instrument, teacher?
All of them.
I will make you
Okay.
hurt. If I could start again, a million miles away, I would keep myself. I would find a way. If I could start again.
All right. Oh, sorry. That song gets to me, man. Every time. So what'd y'all think?
Go
Start
ahead,
with
Joel.
you, Ryan.
No,
Well,
I'll let Ryan go
let Joel
first.
take it first, because I got to stew on that for a minute.
So you asked during the song,
Mhm.
she plays every instrument that you hear in that song. She plays the guitar, the bass, and the keyboard. She also does her own backing vocals. So the backing vocals you heard were her too.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, it, part of what I do is I dissect, especially when it's a cover. I'll just start off by saying I loved it. I thought it was great. Instrumentation wise, there's a lot of interesting things she did that were different than the actual song. I like how different from Johnny Cash's version, she stuck to the actual dissonance that's at the beginning. That's not like Johnny Cash's, which is a kind of a signature of Nine Inch Nails version. I like her vocals. I love the low piano note that comes in halfway through the verse and then sticks through the second verse and stuff. And there's just a lot of very tasteful arrangement type things she did. The only knock that if I was to knock anything that it wasn't that I didn't like it, but I feel like she did such a good job arranging everything that it was one thing. I wish she would have kept the chords because she's so faithful to them in the verse. She kind of changed them and made them a little bit poppier in the chorus. The chord changes are more of a pop, which I loved everything she did with the dissonance and the awkward voicings. And then I kind of wish she would have carried that into the chorus. And then the only other thing is just that vocal she does at the end where she's kind of that echoey back of the room. The arrangement, if she had taken those two things out, I would say this is probably the best arrangement that I've heard of that song outside of Trent Reznor's version. If she had left those two things out, Johnny Cash is just Johnny Cash. I mean, his arrangement is very simple, but his vocal delivery is so great. So it's hard to compete against that. But as far as all the little nuances, I would have given it a A++ had it not had those two things. But I mean, that being said, I still loved it. I thought it was. How old is she?
Gosh, she's probably 24, 25. Okay.
So if you had to guess when she recorded it, she was how old?
She put that out in 19, so 23.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah,
23.
I mean that is I've never really listened to her. I thought it was really good. Her vocals are great.
You should check out her version of "While My Guitar Gently Weeps."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll definitely
"Shine On You Crazy Diamond."
Yeah,
a really good version of that song.
Well, I'll definitely check it out. Like I said, vocally she was great. Her arrangement was great. If I had to nitpick, because that's kind of what I do. But even with that, I mean, that's an artistic choice, so I kind of applaud her for it. I didn't think it for me, what adds to the song. And I didn't think, like, even with the more poppy chord change, I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. A little more happier chord going over a sad vocal line. But the screaming kind of thing with the echo is I just was like, man, that kind of takes away from the intensity of the song, in my opinion. But other than that, it was really great. That's a great first listen. It was fun to be on this side for once. So,
right.
Gurfers, what is your assessment of this song?
Well, now that I've had time to stew, I'm going to throw this out there first. I think that was a better first listen than Joel has ever done.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
And so
even the Chris Cornell first listen?
Yes.
That's all the Chris Cornell first listen was suggested to us by Ryan's brother.
But the Chris Cornell first listen is I did that.
Okay.
So I didn't say it was better than mine. I said it was better than all the ones that you brought.
Oh, well, I'm glad I could please.
Mr. Hero.
You're welcome.
But so for me, vocally I liked it. I love her vocal. In contrast to what Joel said with the little echo effect, I actually really loved the echo effect that she did because it brought something new to the song. for me personally, I liked that addition because it gave my ears something else to listen to. And I know some people will say, well, less is more. So why add that in? Because it distracts. But then Joel, you followed that up with, well, that's more of an artistic, preference. And so, for me, I liked it because I haven't heard a version that kind of had that little echoey thing.
Yeah.
Back.
Well,
so it
and
was a cool little like present that was in there.
Yeah. I will say before you go any further, Ryan, if you go and watch her stuff, that's kind of her thing, right? She does her own backing vocals, right? So she sings the harmony, the melody. I mean, she sings all of it, but doing quirky things like the echo vocals in the back and stuff, like that's what she does. So
yeah, I liked the echo. I mean, I didn't really listen too much for like the chords and all that stuff, but I mean, I tend to focus more on the vocals. But I mean, A plus plus plus, one more plus than what Joel gave it. And so, man, I mean,
he said he would have given it an A plus
okay.
if she hadn't done those two things.
Yeah, well,
so I'm guessing he just gave her an A.
Well,
I gave her an A plus.
Oh, A plus.
You know, I mean, it is what it is. He's a guitar player. He doesn't get to, grade on vocals.
So yeah,
that is no truer words have been spoken on this podcast. So those of you who want to see these vocals or hear them, don't comment.
Hey, you had some pretty good backing vocals in the day with Not Called Common.
Thank you.
And especially with We Heart the Violence.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But I found her to really. My grandfather just passed away, and or he was sick. He hadn't passed away yet, and I was spending a lot of time driving back and forth between home and Salado. And one night, late at night, I was thumbing through YouTube and I found her, and I could have picked so many songs of hers to play for a first listen, but I didn't want to be a blubbering mess on the podcast because she's what got me through my grandfather's passing, and I absolutely adore her vocals. Like, there's just something, and I think we all experience it. Like, for me, her vocals hit a certain emotional beat in me that just I immediately gravitate toward that and just like, please sing more, right? I will listen to everything that you do. And I don't know. So when I thought of this topic, the favorite female artist, I was like, I have to play something from her. And I figured since we'd already talked about her, that would be the version or her version, I'd bring that. But I really, really encourage both of you and everybody else out there that's listening, check out her channel, because one, she does amazing covers. Joel, her arrangements, the way she reimagines the song but stays true to the song is right up there with a lot of the best cover artists out there. And her original stuff is really good too. So I would encourage you to go check out her original stuff as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know that I'm going to go put it on my list of things to go look at right next to the subscription to the UNT3 that I have on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, right.
You see how I did that? It's called a segue, guys.
Woo, that's a pretty good one.
But seriously, Fisher brought it. It was fire. Our list today was fire. But man, go check out this artist that he's talking about. Also, let us know what you're listening to. Subscribe. We keep saying that. Subscribe. Let us know that you're out there. I think Gurfers did a challenge a couple weeks ago. Let us know that you listen to us on Spotify. Just pop over there long enough. Be like, hey, we listen to you on Spotify. We love what you're doing. We just want to hear from you just to kind of start that dialogue. We love talking with you guys, and what Ryan did today, where he brought up a random thing and we just talked about it. I mean, I commented on Elton John today. It was one of the questions of the day. I got on there and I said the Tiny Dancer is my favorite song, and I was shut down by people on this podcast, and that's okay. They can be wrong, but we love having these conversations. So get on there. If there's a recommendation.
Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road.
Yellow Brick. Okay. Anyway, that's a whole. We'll get into an episode later where we discuss how I'm right and they're wrong on John. But
Rocket Man.
Get on there. Let us know what you think. If you have a band that you'd like us to check out, get on there, subscribe, like, listen, follow us, comment, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube. Let us know what you're listening to. And so, Fisher, since we just listened to First Listen with a channel, do you have another one for us today?
Yeah, I got a couple more. Okay. Also, you want to reach out to us, the UNT3 podcast at gmail.com.
Ooh.
You can email us there. Email. Yeah, what's that? You can email us show topics, things that you're listening to. I mean, just another way to get a hold of us. A couple of channels I have today fits our topic of favorite female artists. And the first channel is a channel called Hailstorm. It's a band that's fronted by a very talented vocalist, and they do a lot of covers. And then the next one is First to 11, which again, band, right? Someone got that reference.
I got the reference.
Another band fronted by a very talented young female vocalist. And what I really like about these two channels is they reach out to a couple of other channels that I've mentioned before, Lauren Babick and Violet Orlandi, and they do collaborations. And so the one that I was watching before we started today was their cover of Stairway to Heaven, and it's actually really good. Very well produced. The musicianship on the song is actually really good, but the vocals are what carry that video. They also do a collaboration for a cover of Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody. And that one's kind of hit or miss. It's kind of, well, it's hard. That's a Freddie Mercury song. Come on now, right? Like, you got to be a powerhouse to nail Freddie Mercury. And, sometimes they hit the mark, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
And they also do Somebody to Love, which is, they do a really good version of that song, Somebody to Love. So check them out. Hailstorm and First to 11.
Sweet.
Bring us home, Ryan.
There we go. Let us know, like Joel said, who you are, that you're listening. Okay, we want to hear from you. Check us out on Facebook, because we're doing a question of the day almost every single day. And so, like Joel said, today's question was about Elton John. We've done a Motown question. We've done country question. We've got questions coming out on Facebook almost daily. And we're getting a lot of people out there starting to answer these questions. And so in the next episode or two, we're going to start giving some shout outs to these answers that we're getting on Facebook. So jump over there and just real quick, Rocket Man is the best Elton John song. It is what it is.
Candle in the Wind.
And so just get in we want you in the conversation. We don't want it to just be us three. We want to bring this community of music listeners together and just be one big happy musical family. That's
there
what
you
we're
go.
looking for. Okay. And if you're in this family, you will get to see Joel play hero with his shirt off in pasties. Okay. Make sure we're commenting, watching the episodes. Give us views so he can take his shirt off. He wants to do it. Okay.
There's nothing in me that wants to do it.
He's been working out for you 24/7, 365 for the last few years. He goes out and he runs painstaking feet. Okay. We're not talking miles. We're just talking. He'll run down to the stop sign and back 100 times.
Yeah.
Right? Just to get in shape for you, because he wants to do this. Okay? So just be out there. Let us know what you want to hear, what you want us to talk about. Stay tuned for some more fantastic stuff we got coming your way. Until then, keep living, keep loving, keep listening, and as always, keep rocking.
Too much metal for one hand. The bitch is back.
She was giving me a hard time about the dishes in the dishwasher and how our dishwasher isn't drying properly and how there were dishes in the sink. And so when she left, I told Anna, I said, you know what I'm going to do the next time she comes over? I'm going to tell her, because she wants to be cremated. So you know what I'm going to do? We're going to cremate you. I'm going to bring your ashes here and mix it with the freaking dish detergent, and I'm going to put a little scoop of you in every dishwasher. That way you know they're getting cleaned every single time.
Please record that. Please record that.
It is recording.
No, I'm saying please record that.
Oh, that conversation.
Freaking tell her, be like, look, since you're so worried about my dishes being cleaned, I'm going to put a little bit of you, just like the tiniest little pinch of your ashes in every time we wash a dish. That way you know it's getting clean. So when you like go jogging, do your nipples still chafe when you run on your shirt?